Greetings, friends, and welcome to the woods. Today I want to talk about the specific use of energy to shield and protect yourself, and a counterintuitive situation you may find yourself in that actually is a form of protection, but it may not seem like it when you experience it. For most of us who are spiritually engaged, we find it important to provide a boundary so that our work, the energy that we put out into the world to create a specific situation or tone or style around us, doesn't interface with others in a way that is harmful to both parties. And so we shield ourselves, we ward ourselves. The shield is softened when we, and buffered when we intersect with others. And it's much sharper as it comes closer in to our physical presence. When we are engaged in work that creates an adversarial response from others, particularly if there's quite a number of others and only one of us, the negative energy cloud that builds up around us, around the perimeter, outside of our shielding, our warding, can get pretty thick and pretty nasty. And those who come and go outside of our sphere of influence, sometimes they can run afoul of that and be hurt or damaged themselves as they move through that to get to us, to get to our domicile or our presence. It can be a problem. It can become a problem for us if we encounter some usually unexpected difficulty in our lives, or a situation where we feel we have to put all of our energy into something, which takes away from our shielding. We prioritize something which allows this to be more permeable and allow some of that destructive energy in. Or if we stumble across a situation or problem that throws us a little bit. Maybe we have an experience that touches us in a way that we become upset, or we become depressed, or perhaps we entertain thoughts and feelings that are not healthy for us, where we might wish to be out of this world or out of a situation, or that we've ended a relationship or ongoing habit, and we're pulling some destructive or anger or fear energy about what all of that is going to entail for the future. Whatever the reason, say momentarily, for a moment, you indulge in a feeling or thought that what they call lower vibration brings down your vibration, brings down your energy level. So now suddenly you're dangling within reach of the harmful, darker, more destructive energies that have collected around you because you've irritated people or you have challenged people in a way that they don't appreciate. And so they send this, shut her up, get rid of her, make her go away. Urgh. So now that you've entertained the thought of maybe I should go away, now you've lowered your vibration and suddenly you're within reach. Yay, you're within reach. And these energies can affect you. You don't want that. Now, there are different ways to deal with the problem of gathering clouds. One way to deal with it is by what they call grounding it, grounding the energy. You can do that. You may wind up with the usual symptoms of that. People who carry an excess of weight have been grounding energy, often not just their own, what's sent against them or what they're dealing with internally, their own shadow, but other people around them who they love. They pull that energy in and they ground it, they absorb it and they ground it. They compartmentalize it into their tissues, and then they keep it isolated. And when they lose weight, it all releases into their system and they get very sick. Unless they know how to counter that. A little bit of alchemy can go a long way when it comes to that. But I've noticed quite a number of spiritual practitioners who wind up blowing up because they're compassionate. They ground things rather than let all this negative energy just fly around. Another way, the opposite of that, is to send it back, to engage with it and send it back. Now, the earth and water person, they'll ground the energy. The water person might just let it flow through them. They'll have to experience it, and it will harm them, and they'll let it flow on by. They try not to hang on to it. It's better to let it flow. The earth person will ground it into the earth. They'll just ground it with the kind of effect I've just described. But the fire person, the fiery person, they'll burn it up. That's fuel. They'll burn it up, which can make them kind of difficult to be around sometimes. Little tempest in a teapot. Anyone but fire is prone to doing this, as is air people, airy people. You send it back, redirect it and send it back. Air people, like, redirect it and send it back. Fire people, burn it up. We'll send that back. Send it back in fire. We'll use it as fuel. They make good warriors. They make very good warriors because they feed on that. They turn it into something that they could use to correct whatever problem was created by all of that nonsense. And air people, and there's a lot of air people, send it back, turn it around and send it back. Well, the problem with that is you wind up with a ping pong game of you send it back to them, they send it back to you, you send it back to them, they send it back to you, ping pong. But it's building momentum. It's building power with each return until somebody's shielding breaks. And then something that could have just been a little minor irritant or a medium-sized irritant becomes devastating. So yeah, you can send it back. Sometimes that works. But you got to be careful about that. Really compassionate people tend to be reluctant to use that technique and the burn technique, because usually with the burn technique, you burn it all up in your environment and it will follow the link back to who sent it, and then it'll burn them some too. Burned hand. Sometimes necessary. But another technique that I have seen my guides and guardians use is there is a way to excise it, to allow it to complete its function, but to complete its function in a way that doesn't provide significant harm to anyone. For instance, with that, a friend of mine, a beloved friend of mine, recently was in a car accident. She had been advocating, and she is a bright light in the world, and she advocates for those who have not the voice and not the ability to advocate for themselves. And in the process, has irritated a lot of people who just want to do the bare minimum of their job and not worry about somebody else's what's right or what's fair or what they agree to do. They just wanted to chillax and just leave me alone. I don't want to hear that somebody needs help or somebody's unhappy and so when you're an advocate and you hold people accountable, you're going to make some enemies. And she did. A number of people in a number of ways by doing the right thing. And the clouds built, and the clouds built, and the clouds built. And she's not the kind of person to send it back. And she really can't afford to keep grounding it. And so her guides and guardians decided, we're just going to diffuse the bomb. We're going to let the bomb go off, but we're going to do it in a way that it doesn't provide a lot of harm to anyone, and it might do some good. So she wound up intersecting with someone, young driver, who was not taking care. And this is going to give the young driver a wake-up call so that in the future, he will be more careful. In the future that was lined up for him, there was fatality. Not just his, but others as well. And this intersection will give him an opportunity to avoid that destiny. And for my friend, it gave a way for all of those dark clouds and aggression to just be, it's gone. It fulfilled its function. Boom! It fulfilled its function and it's gone. And all of the people who put energy into it, it's going to be quite some time for them to build up more energy for it to reach that level of boom again, if they do. Because with everything that's happening in the world, there's going to be other things for them to think about, if they even remain in their position for very much longer. So if you have set up shielding and protection and all of this stuff, and yet something like that happens to you, it may not be because you did anything wrong or that you aren't powerfully spiritually. It might just be a planned demolition, a way of releasing some very negative, dangerous stuff in a controlled way before it affects you in an uncontrolled and devastating way. And if you can help someone along the way, you can help someone in the process, all to the better. This is something, it's a perspective that you reach after years of watching how all of this stuff plays out. Having a connection with Source and being able to ask questions like, why did that happen? That can be helpful, which is why I always recommend open communication and alignment with your spark of the divine. Welcome to the woods.